Hey, beautiful people. Kamina the Koach here. So the title of this video will be something to the effect of remembrance, remembering, reminder. So this is a reminder. So my videos mostly are directed to people in the United States who want spiritual guidance or some advice for living and working overseas. Right now, this is just directed at Americans at large. So, I saw something early this morning that really spoke to my heart. I saw several posts to the world that reminded me, and I feel ashamed to have to say that I need to be reminded that there are people who, well before this catastrophe, were suffering. There were people well before this pandemic that are living without food. There are people before this pandemic that are living in constant fear and anxiety every day of their lives. There are people who are actually involuntarily isolated, not of their own accord and not of their own fault. There are people sick and dying all over the world with no health care, even in the United States for that matter, but all over the world, even before this global crisis. My fellow Americans, one thing that living abroad has taught me, and the biggest thing that it did for me, was taught me that my woe is me life is still at its worst so much better than the situations that many other humans in the world are born into. Now, for those who haven't been following me, remember now, I was homeless at 14. I've been basically on my own since I was 14. And still I'm able to say that there are people that I have met on my travels, many people that I have met who are born into situations much worse than what I have faced in my life growing up. So this video is a message begging you to remember the suffering of others during your day-to-day struggles with distancing, with social distancing and self-isolation. I'm begging you to remember the suffering of your brothers and sisters worldwide. You are not suffering more than the majority of the people on the planet. And it would behoove you, and it would probably relieve a lot of your stress and anxiety, if you would turn that self-focus outward and look at the world around you and who is being affected, and by things other than this pandemic, by war, by famine, by diseases other than this. No education, no health care, no water, even in our own community. So while you're out trying to buy up all the toilet tissue and all the hand sanitizer and all the face masks, could you just attempt to remember that there are people that were suffering long before this? And even after this clears up, because it will, there will still be suffering after this. Try not to be so self-centered by remembering that you're not alone on this journey that we call life, and you're certainly not alone in your suffering. I suspect that it might ease up your anxiety and your stress levels quite a bit if you would remember the suffering of others. Remember that there are others that have less than you and that are in much worse situations than you. Because if you have the technology to watch this video right now, you are in a much better situation than quite a few people on the planet. So, as always, and especially during these serious, stressful, anxiety-filled times, Kamina the Koach sending you love, joy, peace, and happiness. Peace of mind. Peace of mind. I send you love. Until next time, peace.